So Tears of the Sun is objectively, and I don't think anyone can deny this, one of the films ever made. It most certainly had a director. There's a lot of filming going on during the making of the film. Of course, in the cast, you have actors such as Bruce Willis and Monica Bellucci, who both gave performances, and I think these performances really do help the film be one of the films ever made. Alright, but seriously though, this movie is terrible. It's not the worst thing in the world, I guess, and it's certainly not the worst Bruce Willis movie by any means, but what it is maybe the most disappointing of all his films. I think this film had so much potential. The plot is actually very interesting, there's clear stakes, objectives, and it works really well. In a one-page summary, this makes for an interesting failure, but at the end of the day, still a failure. The problem with the film isn't the basic plot, which is fine, it's all the things that happen in between. The parts of this film that I hate the most are the beginning and the end to the film. The beginning is terrible because it just feels rushed. For a nearly 2 hour long movie, this film really doesn't spend enough time where it should, and instead just spends too much time where it should not. For instance, in the first 10 minutes, they 1. Have to introduce all the characters, 2. Introduce the audience to the mission, 3. Give the audience the exposition needed to understand the basic plot, such as what the conflict is, the stakes involved, etc. 4. Introduce Monica Bellucci's character, who I've already forgot the name of, and 5. Yes, 5. Communicate the tone of the movie and the main themes to the audience. Now, imagine squeezing all 5 of those things into a mere 10 minutes. You would probably expect it speeds up the pacing. You would be correct. Now, there's nothing wrong with fast pace in films. If done well, it creates a tense and frantic atmosphere, which could give the film some personality. Well, here, instead of that, we get a frantic and insanely rushed first 10 minutes, and then an incredibly slow next 30 minutes, and then it speeds up again for about another 10 minutes, then it grinds to a halt for another 50 minutes, and then frantically speeds up again for the last 10 minutes. A slow movie on its own is no problem. A fast movie on its own is no problem. But merging the two together in such a non-smooth way leads to an incoherent tone and completely drains the audience's energy and enthusiasm towards the film. Another thing that shows this film's issue with pace is the character arc of Lieutenant Waters. The arc is almost completely done in the first 30 minutes of the film. I mean, seriously, within the first 30 minutes, he already becomes completely empathetic to these people and their cause, wants to help them, and cares for each of them as their own human being, disregarding his mission for moral obligation. And then, for the rest of the film, after this, all he learns is, maybe I should be a little tough on these guys then. Well, great, you did it. Congratulations, you figured it out. And just when you're getting used to the slower tone of the film, it speeds right back up again and delivers a nearly 10-minute long, pure action scene, which really tries to be high-minded, but at the end of the day, it's not making any clear statements. The film has no themes whatsoever. Whenever you think, oh look, this could be trying to communicate a theme of, the scene's over. Well, better luck next time, I guess. And it's not just that it doesn't have many themes either. If this was just a straightforward action movie, without pretending to be some mythical, dense art house kind of movie, it might actually be somewhat serviceable, but nope, it has to be an Oscar bait movie for some reason. It's just pure style over substance at its finest. Another big flaw which becomes clear in this part of the film is the fact that this film is just painfully unsubtle. My favourite example of this is when the soldiers literally just tell the audience what each of them thinks about the situation they are in. It's so on the nose and the dialogue is just cringeworthy stuff. It's also pretty awkwardly shot too. Might be my least favourite scene in the movie, to be honest. Also, the finale of this movie is just something else. Everything else in the film is just kind of below average, but this finale is one of the worst things I've seen in years. It tries to cram in so much emotional payoff, but unfortunately for this film, there is no build-up, so it falls completely and utterly flat. But even though I really don't like the film, it's not the worst thing ever made, so it does have a few good things about it. First of all, as I said earlier, this film is very much style over substance, but I do kind of like its style. It reminds me of films like The Siege and Black Hawk Down, both of which are far superior to this movie, mind you, and it creates a nice style and mood for the film. This is also helped by the occasionally quite excellent cinematography. Bruce Willis is likeable in the film, which does help it a little bit. Monica Bellucci's acting is great, I just wish her character was better written. Also, can't deny, the music is pretty great, but I mean, Hans Zimmer obviously was going to be good. But overall, I thought this film was pretty terrible. It doesn't understand pace at all, nor how to write a character arc, and while there is a few redeeming qualities, it's mostly just a failure. An interesting failure, mind you, but at the end of the day, still a failure. So overall, I'm going to give Tears of the Sun a 3.5 out of 10. I definitely do not recommend this film. Go watch Black Hawk Down or literally anything else instead. Thanks for watching. I have a few videos planned which will be releasing shortly. The second Hitchcock video I'm working on, I'm going to completely redo because I think my score and thoughts of it when I wrote it don't reflect my current opinion very well. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video and thanks for watching.